Joe's writing is so much in the moment. I don't know how to say it without sounding stupid, I guess. I love his ingenuousness, the kind of dumbness of his writing, which is more than plain spoken. It's paring down to almost to the basis of consciousness. I sometimes feel where he's. I remember is not. He said, I'm not nostalgic, and I remember is not about really what he's remembering, although it is a little bit, but as much as it's about the process of sort of forgetting your conscious thoughts and going back to some to see your own thinking in a way, or go behind it. And in the same way, his diary entries, when he's trying to pinpoint a moment in time, and of course the moment, as you say, this is now, it's no longer now, it's the past, and there are some wonderful diary entries where he's constantly trying to catch up to this impossible idea of something happening right now. And that's somewhat like his drawings of, which I love, the drawings like the ones from the Vermont Notebook, which are of seemingly random objects perceived as if in a moment of epiphany. There's a shirt. Oh my God, I've never looked at a shirt before. And his I remember moments are like that. You're looking at something afresh. He was open is another word that one uses of him. And he used of himself, saying that in his writing he wanted to be open, and he never could be as open as he wanted to be. And somehow that's a word that applies both to his artwork and to his writing. And another one is, and to his person. And another one would be generosity. I mean, his artworks are generous in the amount of imagery and delight they give us, without trying to be a product, as he would say, or a Brainard, quote unquote. They are simply generous gifts of beauty, of imagery and color and so on. Which, and his writing is too, is in that it's giving of his. He's really trying to be open and write about what he thinks, what he's experiencing, what he's feeling and seeing. He called me to tell me he had AIDS, as I guess he called many of his friends. It wasn't completely a surprise, of course, because he'd had these mysterious ailments for the last couple of years, shingles, I think, at one point, and then a long, lingering stomach trouble. So in those days, one kind of began to get uneasy about things like that in gay people, gay men. And so when he told me, I was shocked and saddened, but not entirely surprised. I did him and Kenward up in Vermont one summer for about a week. And this was after Schuyler had died, and I had a full-time job, so the idea was that I would go up there and write in the little cabin by the lake, which Schuyler had stayed in at some point. So I did that, and it was wonderful, quiet, intimate time with the two of them. I didn't do much except sit in my cabin and try to write, and sunbathe with Joe by the lake, and I think we went out to a tag sale at one point. Not a very ambitious schedule, but Joe always took it easy up there too, and spent most of his summers after he'd stopped working on his art, reading and Sunday. Wonderful presents from antiques antique stores up in the Vermont, I guess, and one in the city that used to be, where was it? It was in Soho, called Lyme Regis, which we both loved, and of course it's closed now, but that was great. He gave me, one of the most charming ones was a little tiny silver spade, sterling silver spade, about 3 inches long, which was inscribed to Mrs. So-and-so from her husband, 1935, to commemorate the painting of a Taxidium Disticum on the grounds of such and such house, Saville House. And it was just this little spade. And a pretty Dedhamware plate once, and a Paisley shawl another time. Two of the nicest presents he gave me. One was a drawing by Fairfield Porter of James Schuyler, and the other was after James Schuyler died. For that Christmas, he gave me a complete transcription of all Schuyler's letters to him, which was about the best Christmas present I could have received, and it was wonderful, wonderful reading. Joe sent Schuyler a copy of I Remember before it was published in 1969, and immediately Schuyler wrote back, I think about I Remember all the time. It's a great work which will live and live. In other words, it is literature. And I love just the immediacy of his perceiving that right away before it had been published, and stating that it was literature, which of course it is.